August 23, 2001. At Toronto Pearson International Airport, passengers boarded Air Transat Flight 236 for what should have been a normal overnight flight to Lisbon, Portugal. The aircraft was a powerful Airbus A330, carrying more than 300 people across the Atlantic Ocean. In the cockpit sat Captain Robert Pichet, a veteran pilot with over 16,000 hours of experience. Alongside First Officer Dirk de Jager, everything about the flight looked routine. The plane lifted smoothly into the dark Canadian sky and headed east over the Atlantic. Hours passed quietly. Most passengers had already fallen asleep, while the aircraft cruised peacefully at 39,000 feet, but high above the ocean, in the middle of the night. Something inside the aircraft was beginning to go terribly wrong, and within minutes, this routine flight would become one of the greatest survival stories in aviation history. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, the pilots noticed a strange warning coming from the aircraft's right engine. The readings made no sense. High oil pressure, low oil quantity, low oil temperature. The crew searched the flight manual, but there was no explanation for this exact problem. Even Air Transat's maintenance experts in Canada had never seen it before. At first, the pilots believed it might only be a faulty sensor. But then, another warning appeared. This time, it involved fuel. The right wing was suddenly showing less fuel than the left. The captain opened the crossfeed valve to balance the fuel between the wings, and for a moment, everything seemed normal again. Then, suddenly, a low fuel warning appeared in the cockpit. The pilots stared at the instruments in disbelief. This aircraft still had hours left before reaching Portugal. So why was the fuel disappearing so fast? That's when the crew realized something terrifying. They might be leaking fuel in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The pilots immediately diverted the aircraft toward the Azores Islands. Their only hope was Lajes Air Base on Terceira Island. But the plane was still hundreds of kilometers away, and fuel was disappearing at an unbelievable rate, nearly 1 ton every 5 minutes. Cabin crew members searched the wings through the dark cabin windows, looking for signs of fuel leakage. But outside, there was only darkness. Inside the cockpit, tension grew heavier every second. Then suddenly, the aircraft's right engine burst into flames. Passengers woke up in panic as alarms echoed through the cabin. Moments later, the engine failed completely. Now Flight 236 was flying over the Atlantic Ocean with only one engine remaining. Emergency crews at Terceira Airport rushed into position. Fire trucks lined the runway. Everyone prepared for the possibility of disaster. But the worst was still coming. As the remaining engine worked harder to keep the aircraft airborne, it also began overheating. Then, suddenly, the second engine failed. Silence. No engine noise, no thrust. Nothing but the sound of wind outside the aircraft. Flight 236 had become a powerless glider, carrying 306 people over the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Inside the cabin, the lights went dark. Fear spread quickly among the passengers. Fortunately, the aircraft's emergency ram air turbine deployed automatically, providing just enough electricity to power essential flight controls. At that moment, Captain Pichet understood one thing clearly. As Terceira Island finally appeared ahead, the pilots faced another deadly problem. The aircraft was still far too high. At 15 kilometers from the airport, the plane remained at 13,000 feet altitude. Normally, it should have been much lower. Too high to land safely, too low to turn away. Captain Pichet made a bold decision. He performed a complete 360-degree turn to lose altitude. Then he used aggressive S-turns to slow the aircraft even more. Without engine power, every movement had to be absolutely perfect. The pilots had one chance to save everyone on board. Then finally, the powerless Airbus slammed onto the runway. The impact exploded 8 tires instantly. The aircraft skidded violently while sparks flew from the landing gear. For several terrifying moments, nobody knew whether the plane would stop in time. Then finally, it came to a halt. Against all odds, every single person on board survived. The investigation later revealed a shocking truth. Before departure in Toronto, maintenance crews had accidentally installed an incorrect engine part taken from a different aircraft model. The poor fitting caused vibrations that ruptured a nearby fuel line. That single maintenance mistake nearly caused one of the deadliest aviation disasters in history. After the incident, Airbus introduced improved fuel leak detection procedures for future flights. In 2002, Captain Robert Pichet and First Officer Dirk de Jager received the Superior Airmanship Award for saving 306 lives during one of the greatest emergency landings ever performed. To this day, Air Transat Flight 236 remains one of the most extraordinary survival stories in aviation history. A powerless passenger jet, gliding silently through the darkness above the Atlantic Ocean, and somehow making it safely home.